I opened the door, and everything changed. Chan Huang stood in my hallway looking like danger wrapped in expensive fabric. Up close, he was even more intimidating than through the peephole. His dark eyes studied me with an intensity that made my skin prickle, cataloging everything about me in seconds. I suddenly felt exposed in my oversized sweater and bare feet, like he could see straight through to the broken parts one kept hidden. "May I come in?" His voice was softer now, almost gentle. "What I need to explain requires privacy." I stepped back, and he crossed my threshold with the fluid grace of someone accustomed to moving through the world like he owned it. He dominated my small apartment instantly, making everything look shabby and small by comparison. His coat probably cost more than my entire month's rent. "Nari Kim," he said, and hearing my full name from his lips sent a shiver down my spine. "You're in danger. There's a man named Yuto Tanaka who's been targeting isolated civilians in this neighborhood. You fit his profile perfectly. Alone, vulnerable, no family to notice if something happens." My mouth went dry. "I don't understand. Why would anyone target me? To send a message to me?" He pulled out his phone, swiped through images, then held it out. "This photo was taken 4 hours ago." I looked at the screen. A black sedan parked across the street from my building, 3 shadowy figures visible inside. Something about the way it sat there, engine running, made my stomach turn. "They've been watching you specifically," Chan continued. "You and 2 others in this building. People who live alone. People who won't be missed immediately." He pocketed the phone. "Mrs. Park called me tonight. She was worried about you spending Christmas alone. She asked me to check on you to make sure you were safe. When I ran surveillance on this building, I found Yuto's men." Guilt crashed over me. Mrs. Park, who I'd rejected so many times, still thought of me. Still worried. Still cared enough to ask someone to protect me. "What do you want from me?" I whispered. "I want you to come with me. Tonight. To my home, where I can guarantee your safety until this situation is resolved. 1 week, maybe 2. You'll have your own space, complete autonomy. You can work remotely, call anyone you need. But you'll be alive, Nari. That's what I'm offering." Every logical instinct screamed this was insane. Going home with a stranger who just admitted to being a crime lord. But something in his eyes stopped me. Not cruelty or manipulation, but genuine concern. And beneath that, a loneliness that mirrored my own. "Mrs. Park really asked you to check on me? She loves you like family. She sees you hurting and wants to help, even though you won't let her." His expression softened. "I know what it's like to push everyone away because it feels safer than risking more loss. But Nari, being alone won't protect you from Yuto Tanaka. It just makes you an easier target." I thought about 4 years of isolation. 4 years of choosing safety over connection. 4 years of being so careful that nothing could touch me, nothing could hurt me. And in all that time, Mrs. Park was still worried. I still cared. Had still asked someone to protect me. Maybe it was time to stop protecting myself into oblivion. "Okay," I heard myself say. "I'll go with you." Relief transformed his face. "Pack what you need. We leave in 10 minutes. I woke to unfamiliar luxury. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating a guest room that was larger than my entire apartment. The bed felt like sleeping on clouds, the sheets soft enough to be silk. For a moment, I couldn't remember where I was. Then memory flooded back. Chan Huang, the midnight drive through snowy Seattle, the penthouse fortress overlooking Elliott Bay. I pulled on jeans and a sweater and ventured out. The scent of cooking led me to an open kitchen where Chan stood at the stove, his back to me. He'd changed into dark jeans and a simple black t-shirt that showed off shoulders capable of considerable violence. Somehow, seeing him cook made him more dangerous, not less. A man comfortable with both brutality and domesticity was a man who contained multitudes. "Good morning," he said without turning. "I hope you're hungry. I made doenjang jjigae." I approached cautiously. The counter held an array of dishes. Fermented soybean stew bubbling in a stone pot, perfectly steamed rice, an assortment of banchan side dishes arranged with careful precision. It looked like something from my mother's kitchen before the fire took everything. "You cook," I said stupidly. "Cooking is meditation. When everything else is chaos, the kitchen makes sense." He ladled stew into bowls. "My mother taught me," said a man who couldn't feed himself was helpless, and helpless men don't survive. We sat at the counter and I took my first bite. The flavors exploded across my tongue, rich and complex and achingly familiar. I hadn't eaten Korean food in 4 years. Couldn't bear the memories it triggered. "This is exactly how my mother made it," I whispered. Chan's expression softened. "Mrs. Park told me about the fire. About your family. Sorry, Nori. That kind of loss, it changes you fundamentally." "How did you know?" I looked up at him. "About choosing isolation. About pushing everyone away." He set down his spoon. "My father and uncle were assassinated when I was 24. Ambushed leaving a restaurant. Shot 17 times in front of a dozen witnesses. No one came forward. Everyone is too scared." His jaw tightened. "I inherited everything that night. The businesses, the territory, the enemies. I had to become someone else to survive. Someone brutal enough that no one would ever try that again. Did it work? I'm still alive. But the person I was. He died with my father. I stopped being Chan Huang. I became the Huang heir. A position, not a person." He met my eyes. "And I stopped letting anyone close because everyone I loved became a target." I saw myself reflected in his words. Different traumas, same response. Build walls high enough that nothing could reach you, even if it meant suffocating inside them. The television in the living room suddenly blared to life. Chan grabbed a remote, but his expression had already shifted from vulnerable to cold. The news showed a familiar storefront, shattered windows, and emergency vehicles. "Breaking news from the International District where a violent attack at Kim's grocery has left 2 employees hospitalized. Police suspect gang activity." Chan's phone rang. He answered in rapid Korean. His voice clipped and authoritative. When he hung up, his eyes found mine. "I have to go. Business that can't wait." He stood, already transforming back into the dangerous man from last night. "You'll be safe here. My security team will be outside if you need anything. Don't leave the building." Chan caught his wrist. "Be careful." Something flickered across his face. Surprise maybe that I cared. I always am. After he left, I stood at the windows watching the city below. Somewhere out there violence was unfolding. And the man who'd made me breakfast was walking straight into it. The afternoon stretched endlessly. I tried to work, translating a contract from Korean to English, but my mind kept drifting to Chan. To the way he'd looked at me over breakfast. To the sadness in his eyes when he talked about losing himself. When the doorbell rang, I jumped. One of Chan's security men opened it, and Mrs. Park bustled in carrying enough food containers to feed a small army. "Naria!" She set down her burden and pulled me into a crushing hug. "I've been so worried about you, child." Guilt swamped me. "Mrs. Park, I'm sorry I didn't." "No apologies." She cupped my face in weathered hands. "You were hurting. People who are hurt don't always know how to accept help." She guided me to the couch, settling beside me. "Chan told me what's happening. That terrible Tanaka man. But you're safe now. Chan will protect you." "You trust him," I said. "Even knowing what he is." "I know exactly what he is. I worked for his father for 30 years. Mrs. Park's expression grew distant. Chan's father was a hard man. Cruel sometimes. But Chan, he's trying so hard to be different. To be better. He protects the neighborhood. Make sure businesses pay fair wages. Keep the drugs away from schools." She squeezed my hand. "He's a good man in an impossible situation. You asked him to check on me." "Of course I did. You think I don't notice you hiding in that apartment? Not answering your door. Getting thinner every month." Her eyes filled with tears. You remind me of my daughter. She had your same sadness after her husband died. That same way of disappearing into herself. I didn't know you had children. Had. The single word carried oceans of grief. My son died in a car accident when he was 30. My daughter, 6 months later, couldn't survive the grief. Lost them both in 1 year. She wiped her eyes. My husband followed them 5 years ago. Died of a broken heart, the doctors said. So yes, child. I understand loss. The tears came without permission. 4 years of holding everything inside. And suddenly I was sobbing into this elderly woman's shoulder while she held me and whispered comforting words in Korean. Your family wouldn't want this, Mrs. Park said gently. They wouldn't want you to stop living. To hide away like you're already dead. She pulled back, forcing me to meet her eyes. Living honors the dead, Nari. Dying slowly dishonors them. They loved you. They'd want you to be happy. I don't know how anymore. Then you learn again. One day at a time. One choice at a time. She smiled. And maybe with help from a handsome young man who looks at you like you're the sun. Chan doesn't. Oh, child. These old eyes still work. I saw how he looked at you when he talked about keeping you safe. Like you were precious. Like you mattered. She stood, gathering her containers. You matter, Nari. Me. Chen. To the life you haven't let yourself live yet. After she left, I sat in the quiet penthouse and felt something shift inside me. A crack in the walls I'd built, letting in the smallest sliver of light. When Chan returned that evening, he found me by the windows watching snow fall over the bay. Everything okay? He asked, joining me. Mrs. Park came by. I know. I asked her to. He stood close enough that I could feel his warmth. I thought maybe you needed someone who understands grief. Who's survived it. She told me about her children. About choosing to keep living even after losing them. I turned to face him. Chan, what happened to you after your father died? Not the position you inherited. The person. His expression cracked open, showing the wounds underneath. I stopped believing I deserved to be happy. I started thinking that being alone kept everyone safer. That if I didn't care about anyone, no one could be used against me. He touched my face with heartbreaking gentleness. I've been alone for 10 years, Nari. And until you opened your door last night, I didn't realize how much it was killing me. What if we tried something different? I whispered. What if we tried not being alone together? I don't know how to be a person anymore. Then we'll figure it out together. His thumb traced my cheekbone. You make me want to try. You make me want to be someone worth knowing. You already are, I said. You just forgot. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that surveillance photo. Men watching my building. Waiting. Choosing me because I was isolated and vulnerable. Because I'd made myself an easy target. At midnight, I gave up and wandered the penthouse. I found Chan in a private gym, shirtless and fighting shadows. His body was a map of violence. Scars crossing his ribs, a puckered bullet wound on his shoulder, smaller cuts that spoke of knife fights survived. He moved with lethal precision, each punch and kick controlled and devastating. Can't sleep either, he asked without breaking rhythm. Teach me. He stopped, turning to face me. Teach you what? How to fight. How to protect myself. I stepped into the gym. I'm tired of being helpless. Tired of freezing when I should act. Teach me to fight back. Something shifted in his expression. Respect maybe. You sure? It won't be gentle. I don't want to be gentle. I want something useful. He studied me for a long moment, then nodded. Okay. First lesson, awareness. Most people who get hurt never saw it coming because they weren't paying attention. You notice everything now. Exits, weapons, threats. Constant vigilance. For the next hour he taught me the basics. How to stand, how to make a proper fist, how to strike with maximum force. His hands on my hips, adjusting my stance. his body behind mine guiding my movements. The professional instruction carried an undercurrent of electricity that made it hard to focus. Again, he said. This time really commit. Imagine I'm someone trying to hurt you. I threw the punch with everything I had. My fist connected with the practice pad he held, and the impact jolted up my arm. Good. But you're still holding back. He moved closer, his voice dropping. You've been holding back for 4 years, Nari. Holding back from living, from feeling, from fighting. You can't afford that anymore. I'm scared, I admitted. Scared that if I stop holding back, everything I've been containing will come flooding out and destroy me. Then let it destroy you. His hands framed my face. Let it burn through you and see what's left. I promise you'll survive. You're stronger than you think. How do you know? Because you're still here. Because you opened your door to a stranger. Because you're standing in this gym at midnight demanding I teach you to fight. His thumb brushed my lip. That's not weakness, Nari. That's courage. The air between us crackled with tension. His eyes dropped to my mouth and I stopped breathing. This close, I could see gold flecks in his dark eyes. Could feel the heat radiating from his skin. Could count his heartbeats where our chests nearly touched. We shouldn't, he whispered, even as his head lowered. Why not? Because I'm dangerous. 'Cause my world is violence. Because you deserve better than a man with blood on his hands. I reached up, fisting my hands in his hair. Don't I get to decide what I deserve? He kissed me then. Desperate and searching, like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning. His hands slid down my back, pulling me flush against him. 4 years of not being touched, not being wanted, not being seen. 4 years of isolation burning away in the heat of his mouth on mine. We broke apart, both breathing hard. His forehead rested against mine. Nari, don't, I said. Don't tell me this is a mistake. Don't tell me you're protecting me. I'm tired of being protected from living. His laugh was shaky. I was going to say that I've wanted to do that since the moment you opened your door. Then why did you stop? Because once I start, I won't want to stop. And you deserve more than being rushed to the gym at midnight. He kissed my forehead. You deserve romance and gentleness and all the things I don't know how to give. Teach me to fight, I said. And let me teach you how to be gentle. We'll learn together. I stood on the balcony watching snow fall over Elliott Bay. The city glittered below, peaceful and oblivious. But I couldn't stop thinking about the gym. About Chan's hands on my body. About the way he'd looked at me like I was something precious instead of something broken. The balcony door opened behind me. You're going to freeze out here, Chan said, joining me with a blanket that he wrapped around my shoulders. Couldn't sleep. Me neither. He stood beside me, close but not touching. I keep thinking about what you said. About learning to be gentle. I shouldn't have pushed. If you're not ready. Nari. He turned to face him. I haven't been ready for anything in 10 years. But you make me want to try. His hand cupped my cheek. You make me remember who I was before I became this. Before violence was all I knew. Who were you? Someone who loved to cook. Who reads poetry. Who believed the world could be better. His smile was sad. Someone who would have taken you on proper dates. Would have courted you the right way. Maybe I don't want the right way. I stepped closer. Maybe I want this. Real and complicated and imperfect. You don't know what you're asking for. Then show me. He kissed me like a man starving. Like I was the first good thing he'd tasted in years. His hands tangled in my hair, angling my head for better access. I pressed against him, needing to be closer, needing to feel alive after so long feeling numb. We stumbled inside, his mouth never leaving mine. The blanket fell away as his hands found skin beneath my sweater. My back hit the couch and he followed me down. His weight pressing me into cushions. Tell me to stop, he breathed against my neck. Tell me this is too fast. Don't stop. I pulled his shirt over his head, mapping scars with my fingers. Don't you dare stop. We made love slowly, learning each other's bodies with careful attention. His touch was reverent, like I was something holy instead of broken. And when he whispered my name as we came apart together, I felt something inside me break open. Not breaking from damage, but breaking free from the cage I'd built. Afterward, we lay tangled on the couch, skin against skin, hearts gradually slowing. His fingers traced patterns on my bare shoulder. I don't regret this, he said quietly. I want you to know that. Whatever happens, I won't regret you. Why does that sound like goodbye? Because my world is dangerous. And I'm terrified that I'll get you hurt. I propped myself up on his chest, making him look at me. Chan Huang, I've spent 4 years hiding from life because I was scared of getting hurt. I'm done being scared. Choose this. Choose you. I choose living over surviving. He pulled me down for a tender kiss. Then I choose you too. His phone shattered the moment with its harsh ring. Chan grabbed it from the floor, his expression darkening as he read the screen. What is it? He showed me the news alert. Video footage showed his shipping warehouse engulfed in flames. Emergency vehicles surrounded the building. The caption read, "Suspected arson at Huang Industries. 3 injured, 1 dead." Chan was already moving, pulling on clothes with grim efficiency. I have to go. Let me come with you. No. You stay here where it's safe. He kissed me hard and fast. Lock the door behind me. Don't leave for any reason. I'll call when I can. He was gone before I could argue, leaving me alone in the pre-dawn darkness with the taste of him still on my lips and the knowledge that the violence had finally found us. On the television, the news showed a closer shot of the warehouse. Spray painted across the front wall in letters 10 feet high. Trade your empire for the girl. Yuto Tanaka knew about me. And now everything was about to change. Chan returned at dawn with blood on his knuckles and murder in his eyes. His security team filed into the penthouse behind him, their expressions equally grim. I watched from the kitchen doorway as they spread photographs across the dining table like evidence at a crime scene. 3 employees injured, 1 dead, Chan said, his voice stripped of emotion. Security footage shows 4 men. Yuto's crew. They knew exactly where to hit for maximum damage. He looked up at me, and something in his eyes made my blood run cold. They left a message for me. Personal. Specific. He held out his phone. The image showed the warehouse wall, that spray-painted message stark in the firelight. Trade your empire for the girl. He knows about me, I whispered. He's been watching. Waiting for me to show weakness. Chan's jaw clenched. And I handed him exactly what he needed. One of his lieutenants, Ji-hoon, spoke in rapid Korean. Chan responded sharply, the conversation escalating until Chan slammed his hand on the table. English, he said, glancing at me. She deserves to understand. Ji-hoon switched languages. We're saying you need to send her away. New identity, new city, witness protection if necessary. She's not safe here, and keeping her makes you vulnerable. I won't run, I said before Chan could respond. I've been running for 4 years. I'm done hiding. This isn't about courage, Chan said to me. Yuto will use you to destroy everything. He'll hurt you to hurt me. I can't let that happen. You don't get to make me disappear because you're scared. I held his gaze. You told me I was stronger than I thought. Let me prove it. His phone buzzed. He looked at the screen and his face went ashen. Without a word he played the video. Mrs. Park sat bound to a chair in a dim room. Her face was bruised, blood trickling from her lip, but her eyes blazed with defiance. Yuto Tanaka's voice came from off-camera, cold and amused. Mr. Huang, I have something of yours. Or rather, something belonging to someone you've chosen to protect. The grandmother for the girl. Pier 91, Warehouse 3, midnight tonight. The girl comes alone or the old woman dies. Very simple exchange. The video ended. The silence in the room was deafening. It's a trap, Ji-hoon said. Obviously. He'll have 50 men waiting. I know it's a trap. Chan's voice was deadly quiet. But I can't leave her there. Then we don't trade, I said. Everyone turned to stare at me. We don't give him what he wants. We outsmart him. Nari, you taught me to fight. You said I was stronger than I knew. I moved to the table, looking at the photographs, the maps, seeing it all with sudden clarity. Make me bait. Wire me, track me, let him think I'm alone. Your team follows, stays hidden. When he brings out Mrs. Park, you move. You save us both and capture him. Absolutely not, Chan said. I won't risk you like that. Mrs. Park is there because of me. Because she cared about me when I didn't deserve it. Because she asked you to protect me. My voice broke. I won't let her die for that kindness. Chan stared at me for a long moment. I could see the war in his eyes, the need to protect me fighting against the knowledge that I was right. If we do this, he said slowly, we do it my way. Full tactical team. Snipers. The moment anything goes wrong, we abort and I go in guns blazing. Agreed. And Nari. He pulled me close, his forehead against mine. If something happens to you, there won't be enough of Yuto Tanaka left to identify. The rest of the day was preparation. They fitted me with a wire so small I couldn't feel it, a tracking device sewn into my jacket lining. Chan's team ran through scenarios, contingencies, and escape routes. And through it all, I watched Chan transform into someone I'd never seen. Not the gentleman who cooked me breakfast or the vulnerable one who kissed me like I was precious, but a commander preparing for war. As midnight approached, he found me on the balcony one last time. You don't have to do this, he said. Yes, I do. For Mrs. Park. For you. For the person I'm trying to become. I turned to face him. 4 years ago I would have hidden. Would have let someone else be brave. But you taught me that surviving isn't enough. Living means fighting for the people you love. I love you, he said. I should have said it before. Should have told you when we had time. But I love you, Nari Kim. And if anything happens, nothing will happen. I kissed him. We're both coming home. But even as I said it, I wondered if I was lying to both of us. Pier 91 at midnight looked like something from a nightmare. Fog rolled off the black water, swallowing the abandoned warehouses in white mist. My footsteps echoed on wet pavement as I walked toward Warehouse 3, trying to look alone and terrified. The terrified part wasn't acting. Through the wire I heard Chan's voice. I see you. 12 o'clock, keep walking. Snipers are in position. The warehouse door hung open. I stepped inside and the smell hit me. Salt water, rust, and something darker. Blood, maybe. Or just the scent of violence waiting to happen. Miss Kim. Yuto Tanaka's voice echoed from somewhere in the darkness. So punctual. So brave. Or perhaps just foolish. Lights blazed to life, blinding me. When my vision cleared, I saw Mrs. Park tied to a chair 30 feet away. Her face was worse than in the video. Both eyes blackened, lips split, but she was alive. Her eyes met mine, and she shook her head slightly. Don't do this, that gesture said. Run. I'm here, I called out. Let her go. Yuto stepped from the shadows. He was smaller than I expected, almost delicate, but something in his eyes suggested cruelty as casual as breathing. 4 armed men flanked him. Not quite yet. First, a small matter of insurance. He smiled. You're wearing a wire. And a tracking device. Did you think I wouldn't check? My blood turned to ice. I don't know what you... Please. Don't insult me. He gestured, and one of his men approached. Rough hands patted me down, found the wire, ripped it free. Found the tracking device, crushed it under his boot. Through the broken wire, I heard Chan's voice turn desperate. Nari, get out. Get out now. Then static. Then nothing. Your lover will come anyway, Yuto said conversationally. Men in love are predictable. They believe they can save everyone. He pulled out a gun, pressed it against Mrs. Park's temple. But he can't save her. No one can. Wait. I stepped forward. You wanted me. I'm here. Let her go and I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you want. Oh, you'll cooperate regardless. But first a demonstration. To teach Chan Huang that caring makes you weak. His finger tightened on the trigger. The gunshot was deafening in the enclosed space. Mrs. Park slumped forward and I screamed. Then everything exploded into chaos. Windows shattered as Chan's team came through them. The warehouse erupted with gunfire, muzzle flashes lighting the darkness like lightning. I hit the ground, crawling toward Mrs. Park through the chaos. She was alive. The bulletproof vest under her clothes had caught the shot, but the impact had knocked her unconscious. Chan had planned for everything. Nari! Chan's voice, real now, not through a wire. He was fighting his way toward me through Yuto's men. I'd never seen anything like it. The way he moved through violence like choreography, every strike precise and devastating. But Yuto had disappeared into the shadows with most of his men. More poured in through the side doors. Chan's team was good, but they were outnumbered 3-1. A hand grabbed my hair, yanking me backward. One of Yuto's men, dragging me toward an exit. I remembered everything Chan taught me. I twisted, struck upward with the heel of my palm, connected with nose cartilage. The man's grip loosened and I ran. Right into Yuto Tanaka's arms. Finally! He breathed and pressed a knife against my throat. Chan! Stop fighting or I will open her throat. The warehouse went silent. Chan stood 20 feet away, surrounded by bodies, blood on his face, and his eyes. God, his eyes held such raw fear. Let her go, Yuto. This is between us. No. This is about teaching you that everything you love will be taken from you. The knife pressed harder. I felt it break skin, felt blood trickle down my neck. Your father took my brother. Take what you love. Eye for an eye. If you hurt her, I'll kill everyone you've ever known. Chan's voice was empty of everything except promise. Every member of your organization, every family member, every friend. I'll burn your entire world to ash. Then we both lose. Yuto's laugh was brittle. Perfect. Chan's eyes met mine across the warehouse, and I saw the calculation in them. He was going to rush Yuto, trade his life for mine. I could see it in the way his weight shifted, the way his hands clenched. Don't, I mouthed. Then Chan moved. Not toward us but sideways, drawing Yuto's attention. And in that split second of distraction, I did exactly what Chan had taught me. I dropped my full weight, becoming dead weight in Yuto's arms. The knife sliced air where my throat had been. I twisted, drove my elbow into his ribs and ran. Yuto recovered fast, chasing me deeper into the warehouse. I could hear Chan behind us shouting my name. But Yuto was faster, trained, and he caught me at the back wall. His fist connected with my jaw, and stars exploded across my vision. Stupid girl, he hissed, raising the knife again. Chan slammed into him like a freight train. They went down in a tangle of limbs, the knife skittering away. What followed was brutal. Two men who'd been trained to kill from childhood, using everything they had. Chan was younger, stronger. But Yuto was faster, more desperate. Blood everywhere. Chan's nose was broken. Yuto's eye swelling shut. They fought like animals, no grace, just violence. Yuto got his hands on the knife. Swept Chan's legs, put him on his back. Brought the blade down toward Chan's throat. Time slowed to honey. I saw a gun on the floor, dropped by one of the fallen men. My hands found it, raised it, the weight familiar from all those training sessions. Yuto's back was to me. Clear shot. Easy shot. He was going to kill Chan. My finger found the trigger. Memories flashed. My family burned while I escaped. The survivor's guilt that had eaten me for 4 years. Mrs. Park said, living honors the dead. Chan taught me, you're stronger than you think. Yuto about to kill the man I loved. I could end it. One pull. Justice. Revenge. 50. But Chan's voice echoed in my memory. Don't become what you're fighting against. I adjusted my aim and fired. The bullet caught Yuto's shoulder. He screamed, the knife clattering away, and Chan surged up, driving his fist into Yuto's temple. The crime lord collapsed. Sirens wailed outside. Red and blue lights strobed through broken windows. Chan stood slowly, breathing hard, and looked at me. You had a clear shot, he said quietly. At his head. I saw you adjust. No. Why didn't you take it? I lowered the gun, my hands shaking now that the adrenaline was fading. Because you taught me I was worth more than my worst moment. He doesn't get to take that from me. He doesn't get to make me into someone who can kill in cold blood. Tears streamed down my face. I'm not like him. I won't become him. Not even for you. Chan crossed to me, pulled me into his arms. You're the strongest person I've ever met, he whispered into my hair. And the best. Police poured in. Chan had called them before the ambush, and had planted evidence of Yuto's crimes in locations they'd found. Yuto Tanaka wouldn't see freedom again, but he'd see trial. Justice, not revenge. Mrs. Park was already being loaded into an ambulance, conscious now and demanding to know if I was safe. Chan's team melted away before the police could ask too many questions. And I stood in that warehouse, covered in blood that wasn't mine, and felt something fundamental shift inside me. I'd faced the worst and hadn't broken. Hadn't become something I'd hate. I'd survived. And this time surviving felt like living. The morning sun turned the traditional Hanek's courtyard garden into something from a painting. I stood at the kitchen window of our Seoul home, watching Chan practice taekwondo forms with an elegance that still took my breath away. 3 months since that warehouse. 3 months of healing. He finished his practice and caught me watching. His smile, once so rare, came easily now. Stop staring and help me with breakfast, he called in Korean. Unless you want to burn the kimchi jjigae again. That was one time. I joined him at the stove, hip-checking him playfully. And you said it built character. I said it built character for the kimchi, not for us. He kissed my temple, arms wrapping around me from behind as we cooked together. This was our routine now. Morning training, breakfast together, then work. Him consulting for legitimate security firms, me translating for an international law firm with Seoul and Seattle offices. My phone rang. Mrs. Park's face filled the screen. Halmoni, I answered, propping the phone against the backsplash so we could both see her. Naria. Chana. Her face, fully healed now, beamed at us. I'm calling from David's house. Look at this view. She panned to show Puget Sound sparkling in Seattle sunshine. Your brother is trying to teach me how to use the new television. It has too many buttons. We chatted for 20 minutes about nothing important. Her physical therapy, my brother's family, the kimchi recipe she wanted to teach me properly. When we hung up, I felt the familiar warmth that came from being connected to people who loved me. She's doing well, Chan observed, returning to the stove. Better than well. She's thriving. I watched him cook, this dangerous man making soup with the care of an artist. We're all thriving. After breakfast, we drove to the memorial park where I'd established a scholarship fund in my family's name. Every year, it sends 3 Seoul students to study in America, keeping their memory alive through education and opportunity. I knelt before their memorial stone, tracing the Korean characters of their names. Appa Iyama Jae-sung, I whispered. I'm living now. Really living. I think you'd be proud. Chan's hand found mine. They would be. I'm certain of it. That evening we went to our favorite restaurant near Insadong. The owner, Mr. Cho, greeted us like family now. We were regular enough that he'd stopped asking what we wanted, just brought what he thought we'd enjoy. Over galbi and soju. Chan asked the question I'd been expecting for weeks. Have you thought about my proposal? My heart stuttered. Not that proposal, we talked about marriage in abstract terms, both agreeing we wanted it eventually. This was different. About the children, I said. About building something permanent. A family. He reached across the table, threading our fingers together. I never thought I'd want that. Never thought I deserved it. But you make me believe in futures I'd given up on. I'm terrified, I admitted. What if something happens? What if we lose them like we lost our families? Then we grieve together. We survive together. We keep living because that's what they would want. His eyes held mine. You taught me that mercy is stronger than revenge. That choosing to live fully, despite the risk, is the bravest thing we can do. So yes, I'm terrified too. But I want to be terrified together. Yes, I whispered. Yes to all of it. The family, the future, the life we're building. Yes. His smile could have lit the entire city. Later we walked through Bukshan Hanak village. Snow just beginning to fall. Seoul's lights glittered around us, and I thought about how far I'd come from that isolated apartment in Seattle. How a dangerous man knocking at midnight had saved me not from Yuto Tanaka, but from myself. Do you regret it? Chan asked softly. Choosing this life. My world is still complicated, still dangerous sometimes. Never. I stopped, making him look at me. 4 years ago, I thought I didn't deserve to be happy. That survival was enough. You taught me that living means risking everything for what matters. You taught me the same thing. He pulled me close. You taught me that the person I was isn't dead, just dormant, waiting for someone brave enough to wake him up. We kissed as snow fell around us, two people who'd been alone so long they'd forgotten what connection felt like. We weren't perfect. We were still healing, still learning, still scared sometimes. But we were doing it together. And that made all the difference. Some knocks on your door change everything. Some strangers come home. And sometimes the most dangerous choice you make, opening yourself to love after loss, is also the one that saves your life.